Hello YouTube, this is Gamehead1233 here, and I'm gonna lay out my wish list for Street Fighter V Arcade Edition and some fucking concerns I've had with it. Holy shit, my brain is just not functioning worse today. But anyway, without further ado, let's jump into this, and I'll start with my first point being this one is easy. It takes control away from the player and in turn take away options. This means that even if you saw what's coming, you could still get lucked out and damaged because of the input delay plus the startup frame for your attack. I could say the same for recovery frames, but for some fighters, attacking a whiff attack could still get you hurt, forcing people to spend more time thinking about what attacks they can do, what their opponents can do, versus what you want to do, versus what they want to do. Add a time limit to this, and it adds stress to even the hard pro players. This forces upsets and makes fake hype, because if the game can account for some of the upsets and comebacks, it lowers the overall value of the gameplay. This will also install hostility, because when it comes down to it, why do you want to lose? Because the game said so. So when it comes down to a pro match, money match, or even a simple online rank match, I'm sure a lot of people can agree with this. If you have to take time to think about what you're going to do instead of instinctively reacting accordingly to an attack, why are you getting punished for, punishing an attack? That doesn't make sense. In fact, I think the input delay was a way of handling the 3-frame combos, which didn't work at all anyway, because if the frame delay was to make it so people can't do super damaging combos easily, it failed off the bat, because we still have people doing max damage combos because the 3 frames is still too lenient. Now the thing is, it's like what Core A Gaming said. The skills of combo masters like Sakunoko are trivialized because now anyone can do the same damage with little effort. And this is true. I love playing as that in Street Fighter V, but he has a combo that really feels too easy to do. Like medium punch, V trigger. Let the V trigger hit like 3 times, dash, medium punch. It'll hit again. Dash on that first hit. Medium punch, now never delete medium punch. If you timed it right, it'll hit, and the V trigger, the cycle cannon will hit them and launch them in the air. And if you can time your crouching V skill full charge with Ed perfectly, you'll grab them, slam them to the ground. You can go for cycle flicker and then go right into super. Now that combo doesn't sound hard in Street Fighter V. In fact, it's not. It takes a bit of practice, but you'll get it down, and it'll be a good combo to have in your arsenal. And it does low damage for what I think it is. It's 470. I don't know how much a max damage combo is on that. I don't really pay attention to it. But why doesn't that take a little bit more skill for what you're doing? This also makes comebacks too common. Like in a video from Core A Gaming, even Flo said that comebacks don't matter anymore. They just don't matter anymore. Like the comeback is much more likely now because of stuff like this. And the reason why the comebacks are more likely is because defensive options already sucked and they've gotten worse. The main reason I think they've gotten worse is because how Capcom was reliant on the V trigger system so much, which honestly the V reversals don't do much. In fact, the V system as itself is kind of a missed opportunity in a lot of ways. For one, let's say for example you have a V trigger that's an attack. If it hits, it's gray damage as if it was blocked, and if it's blocked, there's no damage whatsoever. Now I can understand the thing behind it if the V triggers were instant and vulnerable attacks, then I can understand being gray damage because it's a pretty cheap way to hit your opponent. It's a safety measure, but you're spending a tick for basically nothing, and most of the V triggers you can still punish them easily. And the V triggers that are supposed to be escape maneuvers, most of them are bad, and so far the only real V trigger that's an escape is Manat's. That's the only one I can say good in my book because it moves her far enough away not to get hurt. And every time I try to do Ed's V reversal, I still get grabbed or punished for doing it, making V reversals only useful if you're going to V reverse off a special attack, heavy, or critical art. And in most situations, if you're gonna block a critical, if you have to block a critical art, or someone wants you to block the critical art, You have a magic pixel, which critical arts are the only thing that deal chip kills in this game. So there's not really much to say of defensive options that you can do. And again, pros said that Season 2 defensive options are worse than Season 1. There's less defensive options. And I can see it. Now, in terms of these skills, some of them are just useless or unexpired or boring, so there's not much to go on. Like, I like Ed's V reversal, don't get me wrong. I mean, Ed's V skill, don't get me wrong. He can grab you, yank you in, and stop your air attacks by yanking you back to the ground for a follow-up attack because it has OTG. However, I can't say the same for Chun-Li's, even though I see people do some impressive stuff for her. Her V skill seems more or less intended on being an anti-air or just leading up into her EX air combo. And as for the V triggers, I know they're adding new ones, but holy damn, some of them are pretty much either busted as fuck or just annoying to deal with. For example, why does Necalli V trigger have to stay on after he pops it? There's no timer on it. Why is that? This has been like that for 2 seasons. I mean, if you think I'm lying, go to training mode, pick Necalli, start his V trigger, and go make a sandwich. I guarantee you that bar will not have moved an inch. And I hope in Arcade Edition they fix that. Because his V trigger powers up most of his normals, pretty much every special move he has, and his super gets a buff as well. And even after you use it on even after you use the super while in V trigger, guess what? It doesn't deactivate. So if he hits you with a super while in V trigger and you don't die, you still have to deal with it. That doesn't make any kind of sense to me. And I'm pretty sure even some pro players even came out and said, yeah, that doesn't make sense at all. As to where some characters like, I don't know, Ryu, Cammy, or almost any other player in the cast, they have a V trigger that powers them up, but it's on a timer. Like shit. Even Zeku's V trigger is on the counter, and it's basically a one-use dash. Like, fucking Ibuki, timer, 2 bombs. Urian, timer, 2 reflectors. So, why is Necalli the special one? Is it because Necalli doesn't get, like, any new moves? I mean, again, his normals are powered up, his specials are powered up, and his super is powered up. But, hopefully, in a way, we can find a way to make everything balance itself out. And I propose we do that by... 1, let's take out the frame. Let's take out the input delay. The pros will be happy for that to be gone. And I know people are going to be like, well, the frame delay kind of, you know, nerfs the 3-frame combos. Alright, if you want to nerf that properly, how about we, instead of keeping the high frame delay, we lower the combos from 3 frames to 2, maybe 2.5 frames. That way even newcomers can still have some leniency room to learn combos. And I think I covered that. Oh, the disc. Before I forget about the characters on the disc, there's no reason why people who are going to buy the Arcade Edition disc, whether if they're just getting into Street Fighter V or they just want the new disc, there's no reason why it should be a code on the disc, in the case with the disc, in order to unlock the rest of the characters. Hell, even Killer Instinct got this right. If you buy a new copy of Killer Instinct Definitive Edition, you get all the characters, everything. However, if someone gets the free version of the game just to try it out, they're not limited of who they can and can't play with just because they have one character. They're not locking anyone out. And I don't see why when Arcade Edition comes out, along with the update, it just makes both discs compatible. And another thing, if we're gonna get some new characters in Arcade Edition, seeing how Street Fighter V is supposed to be before 3 and after 4, is it possible that we can get Sheen, Makoto, Q, Sagat into this game? I mean, I'll be happy with getting maybe getting 1 of the 4 would be enough. I'll be really happy if I got 2 of the 4, but I know that's ultimately up to Capcom and the fan base. But seriously, if I had to choose 2 out of these 4, Makoto and Sagat. Maybe Q, because I did like playing Q a little bit in Street Fighter 3rd Strike, but you guys may have better characters to add into this game, and I wouldn't mind seeing some brand new faces. I mean, Zeku was a really refreshing new face, even if he switches between young and old stances. But I think I've covered over everything I wanted to go over without repeating myself. If you think I'm right, or wrong, let me know in the comments. If you have different ideas on what Arcade Edition should do for Street Fighter 5, go ahead and tell me. As long as we have these discussions in a productive way, we can end up making Street Fighter 5 the game it should have been. But if we keep letting people go, if we keep letting it go and just say, oh, it's fine, even when it's not, we can end up having Street Fighter in a Sonic the Hedgehog-like scenario or a Metal Gear Solid-like scenario. And it hurts me to make those comparisons because I like Metal Gear Solid and I like Sonic. But even I know when to say shit has been fucked or shit has fucked up. But anyway, like I said before, tell me what you guys think. Am I right? Am I wrong? What would you do? What do you want in Street Fighter 5 Arcade Edition? Let's have a nice discussion. And if you want other people to join in this discussion, you know, share this video with them. Share some other videos with them. I'll be linking the videos that I referenced in the description. And yeah, overall, just have a great day.